1, 2. I think you're down for 15 minutes.
I was down for
15 minutes, yeah. But, you know, if that's okay. Messieurs, dames, ladies and gentlemen, bienvenue de dernière session pour aujourd'hui. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to our last session this evening. Just to inform you that we will be doing this in both English and in French. We have a very talented lineup of speakers for you, and we've got them from a few parts of the different destinations around the world. And I'm sure you're going to find the next session extremely enlightening, interesting, and of course there will be an opportunity at the end of the session to ask questions, to which you may have many. So without further ado, if you do need the head service and the headsets, we've got some very good interpreters that will be able to assist. The headsets are available, so please do go ahead and pick one up straight away. But same as say, it will be done in French and both in English. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our celebrated panel of speakers this evening. We have Dr. Vandana Shiva. She's an Indian scholar, ecologist, writer, militant environmental activist, a food sovereignty advocate, author of more than 20 books, and is also a member of Spain's Socialist Party's think tank. She received the Right Livelihood Award, an honor which is also known as the Alternative Prize, Nobel Prize in 1993. And I know she's got a huge amount of accreditations to her name, which I won't go all into them now because we don't have enough time, but she's going to start off our session this evening. Before we kick off, I'll introduce you to Chef Olivier Nasty. He's from Alsace and the holder of 2 Michelin stars at Le Chambard in Alsace, awarded the Meilleur Ouvrier de France in 2019, won the Good Milieu d'Or both in 2009 and 2018, and the Trophy Villeroy-Bosch, to name just a few. We also have Chef Moreno Cedroni from Italy. And he's got an interpreter, Antonio Gevesi, who's going to be assisting him interpreting from Italian. He's the chef of the restaurant La Modina del Pescatore a Signalia in Italy. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Gracias. He has achieved multitude of awards. But yet again, as I've limited time to mention them all here, I'll just mention a few. In 2012, the Wall Street Journal placed La Modina del Pescatore as one of the top 10 fish restaurants in Europe. Received his first Michelin star in 1996, then in November 2006, the second Michelin star. We also have a chef, Philippe Clésis, from Belgium. Restaurant de Jonkman attained 2 Michelin stars in 2014, as well as the Guide Molio, 4 whisks, and the NAC Restaurant Guide, and many, many more. His family has roots in the ocean and fishing industry, so it's no surprise that he's also the founder of the North Sea Chefs. Whilst I've finished blowing his trumpet, you may not know that Philippe is also apparently a jazz saxophonist. Throw that one in. Bienvenue. We have also Chef Frank Cheruti from Monaco. Since 1996, he's been in charge of Le Grill, Côte Jardin, et Salle Empire at the Hôtel de Paris here in Monte Carlo. He has worked with the world's finest chefs, including Jacques Maximin at the Hotel Negresco, as well as 28 years with Alain Ducasse, including the 3 Michelin-starred Louis XV restaurant. And finally, Chef Marcel Thierry from the Netherlands, culinary business development manager and high-end gastronomy expert in Central Europe at Coppert Cress. He's also a certified master chef and pastry chef with international work experience in over 80 countries around the world. He's been from the Himalayas to South America, where he's been searching ingredients and culinary origins. He's also known as a spice hunter and is the culinary arm and expert of Coppert Cress. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please give a great big round of applause for our speakers this evening. As mentioned, we're going to start off this evening, and can we still eat meat is the question. And there's huge discussions of debate whether we can still eat meat, with vegetarianism increasing by the day, with veganism doubled in this last 12 months in the UK alone. There's lots of controversy, but is it right, is it wrong, can we still eat meat, is it safe to still eat meat? I hope this evening will open awareness and raise some points through this next hour. So without further ado, please give a big round of applause for our first speaker this evening, Dr. Vandana Shiva. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. I'm a vegetarian, but I'm not a fundamentalist. I realize if I was a tribal in the Amazon, I would be eating some meat. If I was a Greenlander, where there is no soil and there are no vegetables, I'd be eating fish and animals. And I realize over my last 35 years of working on food and agriculture systems because of the violence I have witnessed in the city of Bhopal in 1984 when a pesticide plant leaked and killed 7,000 people, or the eruption of violence in Punjab, the most fertile area of India, the most prosperous area of India, where 35,000 people were killed in violence. That's when I studied it for the United Nations to understand why there was violence. I'm basically trained in quantum theory, and I realized that everything is connected. My thesis was on non-separability. Food is the non-separability of creation. Everything is food, everything is something else's food, and the web of life is a food web. So tigers do eat antelopes and deer. We can't tell them you're doing wrong, but they never overeat them. They don't eat more than they share. Herbivores are supposed to eat grass. That's why they're called herbivores. They weren't supposed to either eat grain. 90% of the corn and soya of the world, 95% of the corn is going for animal feed. That's the problem. Factory farming is the problem. So for the meat eaters, I would say, don't eat factory farmed meat because it is part of the creation of hunger, and meat produced that way isn't healthy either. The US could feed 800 million more people. This diversion of food to feed is a big reason for hunger. But animals fed on intensive feed also emit a lot of methane, a greenhouse gas. Grass-fed animals don't. And when the FAO asks me, how would you test? I just look at their farting. Yeah? They don't emit greenhouse gases. The food system is what we need to be looking at. And the violence of the food system is not just against the animals. It's against all species. Just in the last 10 years, in Europe, 75% insects have disappeared. In France, there was a report of birds dying on a very, very large scale, extremely rapid scale. A new report on the Living Planet Index has shown that in the last 20, 30 years, as industrial farming and its chemicals and toxics and its monocultures have spread, about 80% of species have disappeared. And we are talking about a sixth mass extinction. So, yes, we should not be doing violence to animals, but we should not be doing violence to any species. And we need to be deeply aware that it is food that connects us. Food is the currency of life. Nourishing food creates health and well-being across the web of life and the food chain. And toxic food, bad food, food farmed intensively. I don't eat fish, but I realize there's a lot of fish. We are near the sea. And I would not say to someone, don't eat fish farmed locally. I would celebrate it. But I would say no to industrial shrimp farming, which I have fought in India, because it uses 10 times more fish caught in sea as feed to then produce toxic shrimp, huge amounts of antibiotic pollution, the destruction of mangroves, and the future nurseries of life in the sea. It's the system of food production we should be focusing on, and not just one element of it, expecting that somehow everything will be miraculously sorted out. I would not support genetically engineered fake meat in the lab. You know, they call it the miracle burger or something these days. No, you don't want to eat meat, don't eat even that burger, because there's lots of vegetable diversity that the earth has given us. Because I realize in recent years, the justification for genetic engineering is now becoming veganism. And I don't think that's right, because genetic engineering has been proven to be harmful to farmers. It's been proven harmful to soil organisms. The Roundup that has spread has caused cancer. It has killed 90% of the monarch butterfly. The Bt toxins has killed the soil organisms. These are studies we do. So the food system has to be seen across the system. Our work has shown that when we return organic matter to the soil, we are actually creating healthier food. I won't go into the data, but there's up to 60% more nutrition in organically farmed soil. And there's a meta-study done in the UK that shows, on the basis of 300 studies, that when you return organic matter to the soil, you're actually increasing the quality and nutrition of food. When you grow diversity, our work, the movement Navdanya that I started 31 years ago, you can go to the website navdanya.org. We train farmers how to save seeds, protect biodiversity. We were just protecting biodiversity to protect the earth, to save the seed. And now our farms grow enough nutrition, and we measure not yield of empty food, we measure nutrition per acre. We could feed 2 times India's population. Through diversity, we could feed 2 times the world's population, but for that we must have diversity. And we can't think the world will be saved with a monoculture of lab meat to stop eating meat. We need diversity on a diverse planet, and different parts of the planet have different food systems. We need to respect those food cultures. The second thing we've recognized is native varieties of fruits, vegetables, grains have far more nutrition. These are new tests being done. And for me, the most important aspect of the new awareness is that the bacteria are our most important companions. For one, when we get very fundamentalist about eating meat, we should realize at the end the bacteria will eat us, and that's fine. When human corpses are buried, that's what recycles our bodies. But we are 90% bacteria and microbes in our gut. Our Indian Ayurveda, the science of life in India, always said the gut is the most important aspect of health. Now, scientists of the West are waking up 10 years ago to the gut microbiome. Trillions and trillions of microbes linked to billions of sensors in our gut. Each sensor responding to a different taste, a different nutrition. If you deprive them of their food, we are going to get all the chronic diseases we now have. If you put toxics in the food, you're going to get the explosion of autism, Alzheimer's, Parkinson. And I think chefs have a very important role, because you're the only part of the food system that has been allowed to survive in this period of extinction. I was just writing a piece for our farmers' movement, and I was saying that every day we are driving 200 species out to extinction. And the small farmer, who's the only one who produces good, reliable, healthy food, is also a threatened species under the current arrangement of industrial globalized food production. I know all of you who are exceptional chefs source locally. You need those farmers to stay alive. You have been allowed to prosper, to be respected, to be heard. Your voice counts on regenerating the food system. And the thing I want to end with is this image. So the industrial food system killed 75% of the bees, and they're a threatened species. We have 20,000 species of bees. We have pollinators that provide 1/3 of the food we eat. Every third spoonful you serve came from the pollinators. $630 billion worth of work they do. We don't count them as farmers. So we are wiping out the pollinators, and there are people who think we can wipe them out and create robot bees. Robot bees. To replace the hundreds and thousands of pollinators, to replace the trillions of miles that pollinators move over millions of distances. This limited intelligence in a machine cannot catch up with the amazing intelligence of the diversity of life. So for me, the two big leaps in consciousness this year have been the miracle of our gut microbiome, which is intelligent in and of itself. It has more neurological activity going on than our brain. That is why it's being called the enteronervous system, the second brain. Let's celebrate your creativity, the creativity of the earth, the creativity of the farmer, the creativity of our grandmothers, and the right of our future generations to eat well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Shiva. Lovely. Well, talking about gut and waste, apparently if you have 2,500 dairy cows, it produces the equivalent waste to that of 411,000 humans. That's like a small city. And if you've got 3.2 million kilo of excrement, sorry to talk about that particular word at a food show, but that's produced by animals every minute in the USA. 3.2 million kilos of excrement every minute. And that goes wherever that goes. Please do.
Oh, sorry. So, you know, in India, we have a festival after Diwali, the Festival of Light. It's a one-day festival dedicated to the cow dung. When animals aren't fed antibiotics and intensive feed, the cow dung is part of the cycle of life. We worship it in India. It only becomes toxic in a toxic food system. So it's no more waste then, it's enrichment.
Misused. Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Dr. Shiva. We're going to move on. We've got Chef Olivier is not here this evening, so we're going to move straight on to our Italian chef, Moreno. The same question. You know, we're still talking about meat, about ecology. Please, can we still eat meat?
Allora, grazie. Possiamo mangiare carne. Nel mio ultimo libro, Il gusto di stare bene, su 100 ricette c'è una sola ricetta di carne rossa et 5 ricette di pollo.
Je dois traduire. Je vais vite traduire. Donc, dans son livre, sur 100 recettes, il avait simplement une recette de viande et une recette de poulet.
Però vorrei essere positivo sull'argomento.
Je veux être positif sur cet argument.
E naturalmente vengo dall'Italia centrale e vorrei raccontare com'è la tradizione nella mia regione.
Venant de l'Italie centrale où a une grande culture de la nourriture de la viande, je voudrais vous raconter un petit peu comment la tradition culinaire de ma région.
E se scorriamo il PowerPoint così vediamo.
Si on peut faire passer les images, s'il vous plaît.
Comunque,
lo devi fare te, grazie.
Merci.
Vivo naturalmente di fronte al mare e le tradizioni del mare e le tradizioni contadine si incrociano.
Alors, habitant dans les Marques, qui est une région adriatique, donc de l'autre côté du Latium de Rome, les traditions de la mer et des montagnes se croisent.
E io sono nato nel chilometro zero senza saperlo perché davanti c'era il mare con i frutti di mare e dietro casa c'era l'orto della nonna e gli animali da cortile.
Sans le savoir, j'avais déjà commencé à prendre les aliments à kilomètre zéro en ayant la mer devant moi et juste derrière, bien sûr, les collines et la ferme de mes grands-parents.
Quindi spesso le stesse ricette si facevano per piatti di carne o piatti di pesce.
Les mêmes recettes, on les faisait pour des plats de poisson ou de viande.
Faccio un esempio del potacchio, che è una ricetta con finocchio selvatico, olio, extravergine e aglio che andava bene sia per il coniglio che per la coda di rospo.
Alors, on a une recette classique qui s'appelle le potacchio, fait avec du fenouil, comme finocchio,
e aglio.
Et de l'ail qui allait très très bien, qui mariait très bien, soit le lapin ou soit la baudroie, la lotte. Voilà.
Io sono uno specialista del pesce, però amo molto cucinare la carne.
Je suis un spécialiste du poisson, mais j'adore cuisiner la viande.
E nel mio menù su 20 piatti ci sono 4 piatti di carne.
Sur mon menu, sur 20 plats, j'ai 4 plats à base de viande.
Naturalmente bisogna privilegiare e vado avanti. Bisogna privilegiare un certo tipo di carni, quindi la cacciagione è comunque un buon modo di consumare carne perché rispetta l'ambiente, è sostenibile.
Alors, j'aime beaucoup cuisiner la viande, mais surtout cuisiner la chasse, parce que la chasse est éco-sostenible, donc elle respecte elle-même la nature.
E ho anche un piatto con una carne piemontese, una fassona.
J'ai aussi un plat à base de viande, la fassone, qui est un bœuf piémontais.
E sono animali che non hanno un allevamento intensivo.
Qui n'a absolument pas d'élèvement intensif.
Quindi la conclusione alla domanda se possiamo mangiare carne
Pour répondre à votre question, est-ce qu'on peut manger encore de la viande?
è che dobbiamo, sia noi come operatori, sia come ristoratori, come cuochi, ma anche come persone che vivono il quotidiano a casa,
Comme personne, comme restaurateur, chef, cuisinier, mais même qui cuisine à la maison,
dobbiamo togliere drasticamente dal menù carni da allevamenti intensivi.
on doit absolument bannir les viandes qui sont produites avec un élèvement intensif.
Perché gli allevamenti non intensivi garantiscono degli animali che producono una carne migliore, uova migliori, latte migliore.
Donc il est très simple de comprendre les éléments qui ne sont pas intensifs, bien sûr, donneront un meilleur résultat de viande, de lait, d'œufs, par exemple.
Quindi una scelta etica è sì, possiamo mangiare carne nella giusta quantità, ma soprattutto carne di qualità.
Donc on peut toujours manger de la viande, moins manger de viande et aller sur les viandes de qualité. Donc il faut absolument contrôler d'où vient cette viande.
E dobbiamo optare su ingredienti con certificazioni
On doit absolument contrôler les certificats, lire les étiquettes. Une chose qui est très très importante, c'est vraiment contrôler où arrivent les viandes.
dove possiamo reperire il luogo d'origine, i mezzi di trasporto utilizzati,
L'origine, la façon de le transporter, où a été abattue la viande,
le tecniche di coltivazione, le tecniche di allevamento
la façon dont elle a été élevée et tuée surtout,
e le condizioni delle persone impiegate in questi
et
processi.
surtout comment les personnes qui travaillent dans ces fermes, dans ces laboratoires, travaillent. C'est très important de savoir ça pour lui.
Così possiamo dare significato al concetto di chilometro sostenibile
Et là, on peut avoir une raison d'appeler ça un kilomètre, non kilomètre zéro, mais kilomètre sostenibile, qu'on puisse soutenir.
ma dobbiamo anche, se possibile, per quello che riguarda un'alimentazione quotidiana, ridurre almeno di un 50% l'uso della carne rossa.
Et surtout, pour ce qui est de tous les jours, il faudra absolument diminuer l'abus de viande rouge au moins de 50% dans notre alimentation.
Quindi sì, con moderazione, con qualità, e penso che anche a livello di ristoranti l'uso della carne ci debba essere anche per usare i vini rossi che sono presenti nella carta.
Ah, pour ce qui est pour mon restaurant, bien sûr, j'utiliserai toujours des viandes et une viande rouge. J'ai aussi le fait que je dois vendre du vin qui accompagne très bien ces viandes. Donc c'est au consommateur de décider, de choisir s'il ne veut pas aller autre, de manger trop de viande. On peut toujours manger de la viande avec modération.
Bene. Grazie a
Super.
voi.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce que je peux vous demander, pardon chef, est-ce que vous demandez, est-ce que vous avez plus de végétariens maintenant qu'avant?
Je peux répondre moi? Oui,
Bien
on a
sûr,
beaucoup
oui.
plus de végétariens
Ouais.
maintenant. On a beaucoup plus de végétariens. Je pourrais même dire, il y a quelques années en arrière, on avait du mal à les contenter parce qu'on voulait pas les voir, il faut être sincère. Hein. Je veux dire, bon, on a beaucoup de végétariens. Je reviens, si vous voulez traduire en anglais, d'un voyage en Inde.
Oui.
J'étais à New Delhi, Bangalore et Bombay. Et donc 3 soirées où je devais cuisiner, 70 couverts. Et en fin de compte, sur 70 couverts, on avait 40, 50 végétariens.
Ouais.
Donc c'est un challenge pour nous parce qu'avec le même plat, la cuisine italienne est très riche de légumes, très riche de céréales, très riche vraiment de variétés. On peut remplacer la viande parfaitement. Et c'est merveilleux. Nous, on est en train de cuisiner un artichaut rôti, par exemple, qui remplace complètement la viande. Donc, on a beaucoup plus, il faut les respecter. Un végan, je dois reconnaître, et après je donnerai la parole à Maureen, c'est un peu plus difficile parce que ne mangeant pas de lait, de miel, on a un peu plus de mal. Mais si quelqu'un nous avertit à l'avance, on arrive à affronter le discours, bien sûr.
Oui, merci beaucoup. Thank you. Just talking very much about the trip to India that he had the pleasure of going to, where majority of the clients were vegetarian, and gave him great joy to be able to create and use some wonderful vegetarian ingredients and food within his recipes whilst he was working over in India. So he's also seen an increase of vegetarianism in the own restaurant in Italy itself. So an interesting one. Also touched upon the health aspects there about diet and eating meat, eating quality meat, eating it over a certain period of time as opposed to having a very heavy meat-led diet. And I just want to bring out a fact just before I move on to the next speaker, that in the USA, over 2,200 Americans die per day, basically due to the poor diet that they consume. Heart attacks, strokes, and cancers. 2,200 a day because of poor diet. On that note, we're going to move on to Chef Philippe Klees from Belgium. Chef, can we still eat meat?
That's a good question, and for me, sometimes a difficult question because I love to eat meat. I'm a fish cook. I'm known to serve sustainable fish, but we must eat it in the right way. That's my point of view. Mass production, I hate it. I think the mass production also puts the farmers the pressure of the price on their neck, and then it's not good for the meat. In my restaurant, I'm serving 5-course, 6-course, or 7-course menu. Basically, it's based on fish. I have always one dish of a vegetarian dish inside of the menu, and then I serve one dish with meat. For example, I love to work with cows, but I'm working together with a farm at 2 kilometers of my restaurant, and it's a farm who produce milk. It's one of my best friends. His parents have the farm, so I know from where the animals are coming, how the farmer is. I'm not a farmer. I don't know what food they give them to them, but they respect their animals. And if the cow is not giving any milk anymore, then it's unusual for the farmer. It doesn't have any sense anymore. It doesn't have any price anymore, and we are creating a new dimension to the meat because we are transforming them to a meat cow. And for me, that's very important because like that we are helping the farmer. I know where my products are coming from. It's zero footprint. It's because it's at 5 kilometers of the restaurant. And most of all, we are using the whole animal from head to tail. Because for me, a cow, it's not just the entrecôte or the filet pur or the côte à l'os. For me, a cow is everything. And as a chef, you have to be creative enough to use every part of it. And I like to do that. And for me, that's also a kind of way of working sustainably.
Excellent. As a chef with your 8-course menu, mainly fish-based, I know Dr. Shiva mentioned earlier on about the gut having a vital role to play in terms of illnesses that's on the increase. Have you seen within your restaurant an increase of issues in terms of dietary issues, dairy intolerance, nut allergies, anything like that? Has that increased over the years?
Yes, we see a big changement. Every day we have allergic things, or a vegetarian, or a gluten-free, and I think there's a changement. I'm also sometimes allergic to shellfish. How does that come? I don't know. I'm a chef, and that's not such a good solution. But we, as a chef, you have to respect that, and you have to search for solutions. And I'm also thinking maybe people must think before they eat something. From where does it come, the product? And that's for me the most important thing. Think about food and think who is produced, how it's produced, who is producing it, and maybe it's better to pay a little bit more for a piece of fish or a piece of vegetable or a piece of meat, that you know it's good food, because that's the most important thing. Eating.
Quality food. And in terms of overfishing and controls, obviously you're very much a part of that. Are there issues with sizes of fish or the pollution of the waters?
Yes, that's something, that's my little child. I try to change the mentality in Belgium about fish, because everybody is eating the same fish, with my organization and being a chef, I want to change the mentality of the customers, but also I want to create something more. I think it's stupid that we all eating sole, for example, or tuna. In Belgium, we have 50 kinds of sorts of fishes that we can eat a whole year, and we just eating 3. Yeah. And before, 10 years ago, we trashed them all in the sea because we didn't want to eat it, and it's stupid. And now we are making promotion of those unknown fishes, and then we create a new market for them, and it's a better price for the fishermen. It's a win-win. And that's the thing that we must do also with meat. We don't have to eat everyday meat. Eat once or 2 times a week meat, but good meat from a local producer, a local farm.
Thank you very much. Eat less, eat quality is the message there, that's for sure. We're going to move on rapidly to our next speaker. Chef Frank Cerutti. Can we still eat meat, chef?
Je suis d'accord avec tous les intervenants. C'est vrai qu'il faut manger moins de viande, mais de meilleure qualité. Après, c'est complexe parce que, si vous voulez, il y a une question de prix aussi. Hein, nous sommes un peu des privilégiés. Hein. On peut choisir notre viande, on n'a pas de souci de choisir des viandes de bonne qualité. Maintenant, expliquer ça à tout le monde, c'est pas facile. Hein. Moi, je suis chef de l'hôtel de Paris et nous, on a un restaurant qui s'appelle le Grill. Et au Grill, on fait des viandes, des poissons et des légumes. Et on a une spécialité qui est le coq-lait. Il faut savoir qu'en été, par exemple, des coq-lait, et je ne peux pas l'enlever. J'ai essayé de mettre de la volaille de Bresse ou autre chose, mais si vous voulez, les clients reviennent toujours au coq-lait. Et donc j'étais obligé de laisser le coq-lait. Mais vous voyez, des semaines au mois d'août, quand même, j'achète 300 coq-lets par semaine. Quoi.
Pardon? 300
coq-lets par semaine, j'achète. Donc quand je vois arriver tous ces coq-lets 2 fois par semaine, je me dis c'est un holocauste, quoi. C'est impressionnant. Mais bon, je ne sais pas comment je pourrais faire autrement, quoi. Je veux dire, c'est la clientèle aussi qui nous pousse. Après, je comprends quand il nous dit, mais vous savez, dans les palaces, vous pouvez mettre du cabillaud, du carrelé, de la morue. Mais si vous n'avez pas de la sole et du turbo, on va être embêté avec les clients. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? C'est pas facile c'est pas facile. Après, c'est vrai qu'il faut consommer une viande meilleure et bannir l'industrie. Mais bon, maintenant, moi, je sais pas comment on fait, quoi. Je sais pas comment on fait, quoi. Je sais pas comment on fait. Quand vous traversez la France, là, j'ai traversé le Nivernais, tout ça. Vous voyez les forêts, les pâturages, les bœufs. Vous allez dans le sud-ouest, vous voyez tous les agneaux dans les Pyrénées ou même en Provence. Le problème, c'est, comme disait Madame Vandana, vous voyez, quand c'est l'élevage hors sol, c'est ça le souci. Vous voyez, quand il y a des grosses concentrations, comme dans certaines régions de France ou d'Allemagne, qui font énormément de porcs, la nature, elle n'arrive plus à absorber le purin, les excréments, tout ça. Ça finit dans la mer. C'est un immense problème, quoi. Après, je vais dire, Pierre Rabhi disait une maxime, l'agriculture est faite pour nourrir, pas pour produire. Moi, je suis tout à fait d'accord avec lui. Moi, quand je ne vais pas souvent dans les supermarchés, mais quand je vais dans les supermarchés, quand je vois toute la marchandise, tout ce qu'il y a dans les supermarchés, vous voyez, puis du gaspillage. Des fois, je me demande, des fois, je vois, ils font des petits saucissons apéritifs. Je ne sais pas, on a besoin de faire des petits saucissons apéritifs? Non, je ne pense pas qu'on ait besoin de faire des petits saucissons apéritifs. Et tout le temps, toutes les semaines, il y a des nouveautés, les clients demandent des mélanges. Bon. Je pense qu'ils font ça aussi parce que ça marche, quoi. Les clients, la majorité des clients apprécient. Voilà. Voilà ce que j'avais à dire, quoi.
C'est bien, vous êtes à l'autre de Paris pour longtemps. Est-ce que vous avez vu des changements au point de vue de nourriture pendant vos années là-bas?
Mais énormément. Mais même moi, je suis originaire de l'arrière-pays niçois. Mais quand j'étais enfant, personne n'était allergique au gluten. Mais on connaissait personne. Maintenant, dans ma famille, j'ai des neveux, ils sont allergiques au gluten. Oui. Et au restaurant, oui, tous les jours, on a des véganes, des végétariens. Si vous voulez, on a une clientèle aisée. Donc, plus vous montez dans la clientèle aisée, vous savez, je vais dire une chose, mais vous savez, les ouvriers, tout ça, il y a beaucoup moins d'allergiques chez les ouvriers que chez les personnes. Parce que si vous voulez, les personnes aisées, elles savent que ce qu'on consomme, c'est notre santé, quoi. Donc, ils ont les moyens aussi de ne pas consommer aussi. Après. Maintenant, aller dire en France, en ce moment, aux gilets jaunes, on augmente tout de 15% parce que la nourriture va augmenter de 15% parce qu'il faut manger mieux. Je veux dire, et les gens, ils ne vont pas comprendre. Hein. Nous, voilà.
C'est intéressant, j'ai fait quelque chose, un dîner au Mexique pour 700 personnes, tous mangeaient tout. Il y avait un végétarien, c'est tout, et personne qui avait un problème au point de vue allergie.
Ouais.
Ça c'est en Mexique.
Non,
Alors,
nous,
ça,
on a énormément. On a maintenant des véganes, des fichitariennes qui mangent que du poisson. Enfin, moi j'ai tout. Hein. J'ai tous les régimes alimentaires.
Ouais, merci beaucoup. Bon, we're going to speak to or listen to our last speaker this evening, Chef Marcel Thielly from the Netherlands, who I don't think is going to talk about fish or meat, but we're going to look at going to the greenery. So over to you, Marcel.
Yeah, let's go in the greenery. But before I'm starting the slides, I need this one. Thank you. But before I'm starting that, I would like to say I'm a little bit nervous. What's happened right now in the world? For myself, I have discovered exactly 80 countries all over the world, and this is quite a lot. But what I've seen is you can learn a lot from different cultures, and really good things. You can take it and make it to your own, to yourself. But if you have a close overview about our thinking, our behavior, what we are doing right now, some things are really, really good, by the way, but we lose something. We lose the childlike asking why. Think about that. What did I mean with that? It's if you think about you're standing in the jungle, for example, and you like to eat something, and you don't have like a Kalashnikov and Nikes with you. What would you like to eat first? Is it meat? Is it fish? Is it something else? At first, you have to pick whatever you like to have or what's possible to get. And what we have to think is not to think about in revolutions. These revolutions, what are happening right now in our countries, it's just a symptom what's happened. So it's just a slight part. If some people said, no, I stop eating meat all the time. Okay, it's their choice. And some others are decided to go to the totally different direction. But we forgot one thing. What is with the way in the middle? And we are talking, and would like to talk about a kind of a good way into the future, because we can't change humans like we are. We can't change. No. There is no way. But the next generation, for sure. What we're discussing right now, in the future, is much more higher in the priority and a little bit also normal, let's say it like that. And we have to think about a kind of a principle, 80-20 principle, what we called. And this is based on an idea from the Dutch cuisine. That's what I like to show. Not because that I'm working for a Dutch company. It's because that's what chefs really searching for. They are really searching for a guideline, a help. Give me something in my hand, what I can do with that. And just an example before I'm starting the slide. I was traveling through Asia, I was traveling through Africa and South America. And what I found was a lot of recipes and a lot of books, and quite nice, really stunning. But on one point and one day, I was thinking, forget that. I'm not interested anymore in any specific recipes. Okay, I'm also a pastry chef. I have to do that, and recipes. No worries. But there is on the other side, the best thing what I've learned was in Nepal, for example. They have a kind of a traditional dish which is called Nepali thali. And it's 7 different things on the plate. And yeah, at first you're thinking this is just one dish, national dish in that small country. But if you're traveling just 20 kilometers far away, the ingredients, the principle is the same. But the ingredients are changing from regional situation and seasonal destination or situations better. And it started to came up in my mind that I said, okay, we need a guideline for chefs and also to develop our own culinary heritage, because we are the agents of the change right now. We have it in our hands. We don't have to talk about the big things like we need to do something. We should do something. No, we have to do it right now. We have to train our kids. We have to train the next generation of chefs. Think about the principles. 80-20 principle means at the end, 80% should be plant-based in total. Not if you're going in a fish restaurant, then you're expecting something different, yeah? But if you are giving the responsibility back to all the people that you feed, they have to think about that. 80%, and that's the middle way, is plant-based. 20% is meat, fish, and all the animal-based things, but in the highest quality that you can get on the market. And this is the way in the middle. And if we have settled down this kind of things everywhere, and everyone is understanding that, that's what we are talking about, flexitarian, for example, the most grown part. It's the middle way. That's what the people like to have, yeah? They don't want to miss a piece of beef or chicken or something else. No. They like to have the best, but just one time a week, and that's it. And I will show you a short look into the Dutch cuisine, what does it mean. And it's really interesting. More star chefs per square kilometer you can find in just a small country like the Netherlands. And this is also a thing. The Netherlands are not only mayonnaise and pommes frites and something else. No, the new Dutch cuisine is based on that principles. What we are doing in every country, it's culture, it's health, it's nature, it's quality, and at the end, okay, yeah, for sure, profit. And the culture, you know. Where we are coming from, but we forgot sometime that we, as a chef, wearing the white jacket, as you can see, everywhere. But more and more chefs forgot because they don't have a clue why we received the white jacket. Do you know why we received the white jacket? It is because you can see the beetroot points on the jacket. No, we received this as a kind of honor in the Middle Age from the doctor's side. It's an honor to a chef who is able to prepare the food in the right way. Yeah. make food to your medicine before medicine's tied to be your food, yeah? It's just a simple thing. We have to remember where we are coming from. Gastronomy, gastro, the stomach, nomos, the law. And the health, by the way, it's what I already told you about Hippocrates. We have to think about all these facts. And our future comes from our past. We just have to remember that. And if you ask a little child from 6 years, for example, and I have a small daughter, if you go in a restaurant, for example, and I can speak for Germany because I live in Germany, if I go in some restaurants, it's, sorry for that word, fucking horrible sometimes. Because if you're asking for a kids menu, and you see really the truth, the horrible side of our culinary world, how much effort we give to the next generation. Think about also that. It's health, it's nature. We as humans, we are nature and we have to eat nature. That's by the way, also the right thing. And think about that if you have, in the next time, something in your hand, as for example, some people are shocked about that, what you can find in the world. For example, I'm working for Corporate Crest, and we have sometimes also the upcoming questions. If they see just the simple leaf what we found in Korea, but we grow it here in Europe, and the taste is like brie camembert. And the people think, oh, you changed the DNA, yeah? So that the leaf tastes like camembert. No, forget it. This is nature. Nature can be very, very good to us, yeah? You just have to discover that world. And a true chef, you will really easily know if you see how he's cooking, because it's needs much more knowledge and effort to create something with vegetables and fruits. The quality at the end, it's even the thing what we are talking about, the profit and the creative, the heroes in the kitchen. And sometimes these small group of top-level chefs from all over the world, they have it in their hands. And I couldn't say that I'm not a godfather or something, or bloody hell, but I really wish that all these chefs are thinking about also that kind of thing, what they are talking to the next generation, or telling the next generation. A chef is not a rock star. He's the agent of our culinary heritage. He's a guardian of that. And yeah, we need these cross-grained thinkers and these heroes out of that cuisine. But the best is to focus also on this local history, to remember where we found these products, that we also accept that Capucina cress, for example, or potato or tomato isn't from Europe. We brought this, we don't brought it, we found it in different countries, but during that time, 100 years ago, we don't ask the people where we received these products from them about all their knowledge about this product. It's also a wonderful thing. The issues are clear: climatic change, health, and so on. But at the end, again, the chef is the change agent, and all these crossovers, we have to think a little bit bigger than, instead of just thinking, should we reduce that? Yes, of course. There is no other solution if you look at the counted numbers of humans in the world. No way to think like this. We are wearing the white jackets, and also this heritage that we have to develop old recipes and transform them to the next century. That's our daily business as a chef and our responsibility. Yeah, 80% plant-based food, 20% animal-based food, salt reduced, sugar reduced. And the last two things, just two examples, and then I'm stuck talking. Sorry if I'm talking, then I'm
You're
talking
fine.
quite well. Salt reduced, where does it come from? All the people are asking, please, salt reduced, is it a trend or something else? It's not a trend, it's a reaction from good people, because we have done some really, really bad things in the past. The last 100 years, lots of industrial produced food are horrible. Sorry for that. Fucking bullshit. If you go in the supermarket, 60%, it's bullshit. We never need this kind of things. Yeah, and we have to think about that. If you just choose a salt, a simple salt, a cooking salt, 2 minerals inside, instead of a natural salt, which is fully packed of 84 different minerals inside, it's a toxic element. You just need a little espresso spoon, put some of this cooking salt on top, put it on the tongue, press the tongue in the mouth. You can't hold it for 30 seconds. And if you can't do that, don't put this kind of things on the fish, for example, or a meat. And sugar reduced the same. No one is talking about this black lemonade. Sorry for that. You know what I mean. Every human in the world wouldn't drink this kind of things if there is no bubbles inside, because the body is really, really high educated, and he said, "Stop! I'm not programmed to destroy." Or isn't it? You don't like this lemonade without bubbles inside, so it's too. Sorry for that. So, yeah. And that's what we need. And I created this, for example, this dish, which is not a recipe. It's a principle. I called this principle Mother Earth. Respectful name. Because of what? You can copy that wherever you are. Each country, each continent, every season, every theme, what you are doing. And what is the principle behind? Okay, the 80-20 principle, salt reduce, sugar reduce, and so on. But the main thing is you have to replace the prepared vegetable in a texture of your choice, from seasonal, local, or however, and put it at first on a plate. Then you cover that with an edible soil, which could be roasted different bread with grains and something else and some seeds and so on. It's your choice. It's your creativity. And put on top the perfect match, exactly which fits to the underground harvested vegetable, to the overground harvested vegetable, and bring all these things together. Yeah, and at the end, then you can really, really enjoy also the 20% as well, a special thing like that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. It brings us around to any questions and answers. We've covered quite a large area here, and it's a huge topic, huge debate, and it does go on from one thing to another, from education, from the future generations, as was mentioned, to the diet, to the health concerns that we have, to balanced diets, alternative diets, to illnesses that is being caused by certain foods, healthy, local, regional. It's a huge, huge subject. So if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate. Bring you the microphone.
A question I have for the chefs is, how do you educate food service to allow the change to happen? So how do you educate the producers of the food to allow us to have a diet of choice and eat for the future?
Who would like to answer that one?
A good thing. I would like to say, with the words from Coppergrass, we have a wonderful, unique thing in Europe, what you can find at our headquarters in Monster. It's called Cresperians, and also an edible jungle. So we have more than 450 chefs who are coming to us per week over year. They are walking through the edible jungle, and they are testing and trying everything what we found in the world. The chefs decided to talk about that. They don't have a clue that this is edible or this is a wonderful taste, and it's upcoming networking as well. And then they decide to say, okay, I really want to have this kind of product, and we really think sustainable, that we don't grow everything and push it in the market. No, we're just reacting on what the chefs need. And this is a wonderful place, because there you can learn about all the diversity of nature, what's edible from all over the world, from directly in front of your house, let's say like that. You can find some chefs, they are coming from Peru, for example, to our headquarters to take a closer look inside. And they are wondering that these products, what they discovered there, are coming from their own country. They don't have a clue about that. This is also networking as it's knowledge transport.
Sure. Well, thank you for the answer and for the question. I would also like to add that I would actually look at trying to get funds into schools and educational for the next generation, because that is something which is totally alienated now. They don't even do cooking in schools any longer. That is the cause all the future generations that we need to be educating and stimulating and getting excited about food and the balance and diet, local, regional, everything we spoke about. So I would prefer to canvass in order to try and get more money into education for the next generation. Shiva, please do.
I think, from the issue of meat, just thinking all vegetables and all plant-based diet is good means exactly the simplification that can get us into new trouble. We work a lot on wheats. We used to have 1,500 varieties. Monsanto patented an ancient Indian wheat that does not cause gluten allergies. And new research is showing that diversity of wheats and native wheats do not cause the allergy. It's the uniformity and the industrialization of breeding and baking. So more and more people are shifting to baking with native breads. And even in Iran, there's a reversal of gluten allergy. But, we did this painting, and this book, Food as Health, is something we published from Navdanya. We did it when the brinjal, the eggplant, or the aubergine, was being genetically engineered to have a Bt toxin. And we fought it. We stopped it in India. But a Bt aubergine might be a vegetable still not worth eating, or a golden rice that they're trying to push, or food laden with pesticides. So this switch from meat to vegetables and not look at the whole food system, I think is a bit irresponsible. The question you asked, every day, because India is such a diverse cuisine, and we have a farm like you have your forest. We grow 2,000 crop varieties on our farm. We've saved 750 rice varieties on one farm, 4,000 across the country. We brought back vegetables that were wild and uncultivated, but they are much more nutritious. And every day there's a new law called the sanitary and phytosanitary law. That's the opposite of the white coat. It's a pseudo-hygiene law. I know the Italians have fought it hard. The French have fought it hard. In India, the women are dealing with it daily because a new excuse is made to crush a good system, including the cold press oil mills. I had to deal with a civil disobedience when 5 million of our cold press oil mills were made illegal overnight, saying if you don't have a lab and a chemist, you can't make local oil. And I think the chefs have a very big role to play to define what's true hygiene, what's true health, and not the pseudo-hygiene to move everyone into an industrial diet. They banned natural salt in India. Banned natural salt to force Indians to eat industrial salt, and everyone's got blood pressure now. Everyone. I think revisiting food safety is a very big role, and the chefs can play a very big role. And on education, we started gardens in schools, and the children come away loving the soil, loving the seed, loving the food, and taking pride in cooking. And basically, the assault in good food is a cultural assault. And therefore, you all as chefs have been important with everything you've said today to change that direction, to bring pride to culture, to bring pride to tradition, to bring respect for nature. At Navdanya, we run an Earth University. We run courses A to Z of food systems, A to Z, from the seed to the soil to the plant to the diet. And I hope some of you will visit. But in any case, I offer from my side to make sure that these amazing principles you have articulated today, all from different cultures, that they become the norm and not the imposition of industrial food that's causing all the damages.
Thank you very much. Totally agree. Thank you. We take any other questions. So prime opportunity now to get any niggles that you may have answered. No takers? Looking around? No? Would anyone like to say a final word?
let's restaurant. You know where it comes from? Restaurer. So
Restore.
it needs a second one, a second Restaurer 2.0. So please go for that.
Excellent. Lovely, thank you. On that note, if we have no more questions, I hope this session has been informative. Same as say, it's been very varied, very diverse, and it could go on for days, really, and it will go on for years. And obviously, it is up to us, as everyone's mentioned, to actually be far more aware and to bring the next generation into line, because the world is at a tragic point right now, and it is up to us to do our part towards it and to try and eat healthier, be healthier, fight against all the industrialization that is causing the amount of deaths per day, the amount of cancers up to 1 in every 2, which is coming up to, which is absolutely horrendous. And I think everyone in this room probably knows someone who is suffering with a cancer or another. And it's quite horrendous to think that this is on the increase constantly, and we're fighting that. And that's putting undue pressure in the health sectors, when we should be really pushing a lot of that funding into the food, cutting out the issues at source, and getting funding into eating properly, and into farming properly, into growing properly, and into living properly. But sadly, we're putting sticking plasters onto the final results, which is not looking good. So it is up to us to do everything we possibly can to try and change it as much as we can in our lifetime, and hopefully train and motivate and stimulate the next generation to resolve some of the issues that we have actually caused right now. So on that note, I'm Alan Coxon. I thank you very much. I would like to thank, and let's please give a big round of applause for our speakers this evening. Absolutely fantastic lineup. A brilliant wealth of knowledge, and really appreciate them coming. Thank you, everyone, for staying on. This is our last session for this evening, and at our 3rd World Chef Summit. I hope you've had a fantastic day, and hopefully you'll be back tomorrow. So thank you very much. Have a safe journey home, and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.